network service of the NTA.
Hundred and 55 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria as at 30th May 2020. What role are you playing in ensuring that we kick COVID-19 out of Nigeria? Well, as for me, I don't mind drastic lifestyle change if it means, come to think of it, it's for our own good, wearing face masks, maintaining social distancing, and all that. We need to take responsibility. Now, if you are with us yesterday on the program, we discussed COVID-19 behavioral change, and today we intend to continue in that direction. Of course, we have a bumper package lined up for you. We'll be talking, we will be having doctor that will enlighten us on lifestyle change and business as well, and so many things, entertainment, like I said, a bumper package. Well, welcome to Weekend Deal, Africa's biggest deal. I am Aisha Mwegarikana. COVID-19 came and it is ravaging through the world. We see its impact in the business world, in offices. We see companies downsizing. And people, what are people's attitude to work? In the next feature that we will be looking at, that put together by Funke, she looked at all those things: attitude to work, work ethics. Funke, it's over to you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has thrown the world into a lot of uncertainty in all areas of our day-to-day lives. From the way we relate with one another to the way we work, many changes have occurred.
The pandemic is accelerating. It took 67 days from the first reported case to reach the first 100,000 cases.
Everyone is now re-establishing a new order on how to live and work safely. The global economy has suffered major setbacks, especially with the global oil price plummeting. Employers of labor are now reevaluating how to keep their businesses afloat in the dwindling economy. Some have taken drastic measures to downsize their workforce in order to ensure the survival of their businesses. The Nigerian workforce, especially the private sector, has also followed in this trend, as some are unable to keep their employees on payroll. This pandemic has prompted employers and employees in Nigeria to rethink their attitude to work.
As an employer of labor, what I have done and what my company is doing is that we are making sure that we are out there to make sure that after this pandemic and even during this pandemic, we remain relevant in the industry. We are making sure that we are adding services that is going to be related, that is going to be suitable or more suitable for this kind of condition that we are all in now, like bringing some of our services online.
For the employees that are still able to work and get paid, many have committed various practices and measures to ensure their relevance and dedication to the work they do.
So in my organization, we were able to pay salary for the month of April. So in March, and then before March 29 or so, something thereabout, we told all our staff to start to go home so that everybody should try as much as possible to start working online. We designated assignments to everybody to be working virtually.
To remain relevant and employed, there is a need for employees to redouble their efforts on the job.
Despite the fact that we are working physically, we have our staff that are building their capacities in virtual work.
And change their ways of doing things, as the options out there are few.
Indeed, the options out there are very few, but you need to make an effort, go out there, communicate with people. And talking about communication, Benin looked at the impact of COVID-19 on behavioral change on communication. Let's take a look.
COVID-19 is the front burner, compelling humanity to respond to a set of new norms as behavioral approaches.
For the first time, we are going to adapt to a new structure, what we call the social isolation or distancing. And go anywhere, we are all masked up. Even for this interview, we are wearing masks, which is not a normal thing. So those are basic changes. We as traditional, cultural related people, we are used to doing what we call Owambe. We are used to big ceremonies of any type, where you close the street and everything and so on. But since the pandemic started, you notice that no streets have been locked down. You notice that several of the event centers are virtually empty. Now with the social distancing, I can tell you, even those days of say, oh, you are going to see family members, you are going to see friends, you associate with them, it's no more there. Look at churches, look at mosques. They have been closed for several weeks right now. So the pandemic itself is beginning to realign our thoughts, realign our mind, realign that we are just human.
The transition to the new norm, is it easy to adapt to?
Me the premier community come once. May I go back to my place where I do my business. That is, I will go back to my market, my shade. I will balance there. I will go and be selling for where they know me. This one now, if I talk customer, be like say I newly they start business again. Capital not they come, the money not they collect again.
What the government is saying, which is we should go in and stay at home.
Most organizations and individuals have keyed into attainable opportunities for the sustainability of human contact to harmonize behavioral changes.
Go online to put my business there, so that even if such thing will occur, I can do my business online.
Now true folk, let the country be safe. Now true folk, we even take it back. Because like this one, when we do, I don't say now, the data stay there for carry and call yesterday. Now true folk, we not go by myself. Now phone I take control them.
This is a webinar on Build Your Business Resilience. It has been a series that has been going on for the past 2 months. So I've been joining them online to understand how to build my business resilience at this time of COVID-19.
And for an upcoming burial event, I will not be physically present too because of COVID-19 measures in place restricting traveling. I need to register my name via this link so I can view the entire burial ceremony. That's it, and to show I'm not a robot, and then I'll just click on register where my finger is now, which is register. I'm done with that. See, it reads meeting registration approved. What is the hope for the future that is post-COVID-19?
Don't panic. Develop your adaptogens. Adapt to the reality that is confronting us. And that reality sometimes is highly unanticipated. And today, tomorrow and forever, nobody knows what is in stock. Wherever you get in stock, take it as it is. Because if you panic, you might die of the panic reaction than the COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Angela from Benin. When we sit down at home, there are many people that suffer domestic violence and we don't even know about it. Now, we put together this feature on domestic violence. Let's have a look.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rave and restrictions put in place, people are facing multiple new stresses, including family confinement, isolation, and economic vulnerability. High-stress home environment will increase the likelihood of domestic violence and abuse. According to a UN report, emerging data shows that since the outbreak of COVID-19, violence against women and girls, VAWG, particularly domestic violence, has intensified with frequent reports of rape and sexual violence.
These are uncertain times. It's not unusual in times like this for people to feel anxious. Well, it is also not unusual for you to have an increase in domestic violence. One of the reasons clearly is that people are locked up in the same space, especially at the height of the restriction when people couldn't go out, weren't going to work, weren't going to their business. A lot of the domestic violence did not start during the lockdown. It would have been ongoing. It only became worse during the lockdown because people were brought into close proximity. So it can be an opportunity for them to deepen their relationship. For some others, unfortunately, it creates a situation where there's more rift. And then when we talk of domestic violence, people usually just get it husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of situation. But there's a lot more that goes on when we talk of domestic violence, or more broadly speaking, gender-based violence. So not just wives, you have young children, girls, adolescents, teenagers who are no longer in school and are at home and are vulnerable, people who live in high-density areas.
Recently, Lagos State recorded an increase in reported cases of domestic violence. Records show that before the outbreak, the state recorded an average of 8 cases daily. The figures have increased to about 50%. Reports of sexual gender-based violence is also on the increase in the FCT.
Let us take, for example, where one partner abuses drugs or alcohol. So not having access to the drug during this lockdown can make him irritable. If unfortunately he's stocked up on alcohol in the house before the lockdown and then he's drinking heavily, the heavy drinking can also be the reason why he abuses the other person. So we must also not be unmindful of financial difficulties at this time. So when people are finding it difficult to find food to eat and things like that, people can take advantage of that. Oh, I'll give you food, or I'll give you money, and then they take advantage. Remember that even during the lockdown, essential workers have continued to go to work. Now, where one parent is an essential worker, the children are left with the other parent. For example, if the essential worker is female, and now, unfortunately, the father, for the first time in his life, is having to take sole parenting duties with the children, it can be irritable, it can abuse them.
Domestic violence advocates and service providers are increasingly facing difficulties in providing support. Hence, more sexual assault reference centers and primary healthcare centers have been put in place, with about 67 locations spread across the country.
Some states and a lot of NGOs have made themselves more available to address issues. They've provided platform for people to come forward and seek for help for domestic violence during this lockdown. A lot more publicity is needed. People need to be encouraged. So, for example, if there's a Minister of Social Welfare where somebody can go and complain of domestic violence, the person can go there during the lockdown. So moving forward, we need to think of existing structures within the community. So can we go and train and enlist community pharmacies? Can we go and talk to religious leaders, pastors and imams who are within the community? Can we go to primary healthcare centers so that the place where the person goes to for help is not such a distance? So now there's no excuse for domestic violence. There's no excuse for gender-based violence. It's bad behavior. It should be discouraged in the strongest terms possible.
The fear on the minds of people is COVID-19 is not going to leave behind just the body counts and damaged economies, but it will inflict indelible damage on the fabrics of human experience and behavior.
Indeed, there is no excuse for domestic violence, but then we need to create a safe haven for all these domestic violence victims so that they can report freely. Now, earlier I told you we'll be discussing with interesting guests. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Beauty and Brains, a chief consultant, family physician, and also lifestyle physician in person of Dr. Ifoma Moni. Welcome.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. When we talk about earlier, before we came in, we took a feature on domestic violence, especially people that stay now at home. You hardly see people talking about domestic violence. What's your take on that?
Well, thank you. That's a very good question and very timely for the times that we're in. With the COVID-19 lockdown, lots of people are forced to remain at home in very difficult circumstances. So whereas in the past they could go out to work, go out to visit friends, go out to get some support from groups and hang out with relatives, people really can't do that now. They have to be home. And if home is not good, if home is hostile, if there are issues at home, then you can imagine that the person, be it a man or a woman, who is facing domestic violence will face it more. Besides, there's a lot of stress with the COVID-19. People are sad, people are scared, people don't know what to do about the uncertainty. How long is this going to last for? How much longer are we going to be locked down? Some people have lost jobs. There are redundancies everywhere. I mean, there's been no such thing that has hit this world, like this generation, like it's hit us now. So we know there's a lot of stress in homes.
Yes.
So that can actually cause people to flip, even where there was no problem. People may actually begin to react to the stress that this COVID-19 has brought.
Well, you talked about people flipping. Children in the family, they are often neglected. You find that they not neglected per se, but they are not they're not giving them much attention, especially this COVID-19 with this lockdown and all that. You find the children getting a little bit hysterical and unease. Like my nephew, sometimes he will start crying unnecessarily. He would want to go out and play because he is being confined to staying at home and he's no longer happy. Do you think this effect, behavioral change, is affecting the well-being and mental well-being of the children?
Absolutely, and that's a very critical point you've raised in families. How do families cope with the lockdown? How do families cope with children who will normally go to school and see their friends, play, exert some energy, and then come back home? Children who are taught by teachers in school, all of a sudden they have to do homeschooling and parents have to do it. And I can tell you something, I'm not a teacher myself. It's been tough to homeschool my little one. But what I want to actually advise is that families should devise a way where they have family times together. I think the good side of COVID-19, if I may say, is that families can actually spend quality time together, doing things that they never had time to do in the past, but now they are forced to do it. So families should spend time together reflecting on life. Parents should see it as an opportunity to teach their children the values that they have. So family time together, meal times together, cooking together, dancing together, physical activity together, telling stories. I know this time my children have asked us a lot of questions, and they are so thrilled that they've never had this kind of time with mom and dad, but they've asked us so many questions about how we grew up, where we grew up, about their grandparents, that our parents, and so many things. So please keep children engaged, give them interesting things to do. However, please don't let them sit in front of the television from morning till night just so that you can keep them out of your way, because children can actually have obesity from doing that, and we know the long-term consequences of obesity. So yeah, be patient with that child. That child is also frustrated that he can't see his friends or her friends. So make family home exciting. Open up your heart and your mind to new ways of thinking, new ways of doing, and new ways of being. I think that people who will come through this thriving because of and in spite of the COVID-19 are people who will have a broad mind to change things to change the way they think, to change their behavior in keeping with the new normal,
yes.
The post-COVID-19 normal.
Exactly. In keeping with the new normal, we are asked to wear face masks.
Yes.
When you came in, you were wearing your face mask. It's still here, but some people find it difficult to actually adhere to putting on the face mask and all that. You see that some people, because you can't go into a place without wearing face mask, they tend to borrow sharing of face mask. How is that? How can you tell people that they can not share the implications of sharing face mask and how they can embrace this lifestyle change in wearing face mask?
A very, very important question, and thank you for asking that. Very important. We know that to prevent COVID-19, WHO, NCDC have advised us we must wash our hands regularly, we must put on face masks, we must maintain social distances, like the kind of distance between you and I now, and we must not stay in crowded places so that we can avoid the infection. At this point, there is no known cure. There is no vaccination against it. So our best bet is to prevent it from happening in the first place. So wearing a facial mask is not optional. And the thing is, if you don't, anytime anybody is talking or sneezing, just even talking across, the droplets from their mouth, as I'm speaking now, there are droplets coming out. As you speak, there are droplets coming out. They go quite far. And so we have been recommended about 2 meters distance, where people must stay one from another, socially distancing or physically distancing. But the mask should at least prevent you from throwing that droplet into the air to the person you're talking to. It will also protect you from getting whatever else is in the air. So I think that wearing of mask is not optional. And I think that maybe when people recognize the importance of not catching the virus, then they will know that, we really need to do something about it. There is no cure. There is no cure at this point.
Well, yes. Well, one of the one of the preventive measures of COVID-19 is staying at home. And when you stay at home, you get to eat and overeat and sleep, and you get obese sometimes. What are the wellness routine that one needs to adhere to or sit and start? Like beginning of this lockdown, I was exercising with my family and all that. What wellness lifestyle should one adopt to, especially this period?
I must congratulate you for doing that, and please don't stop. Continue doing that. I think there is something now we call quarantine 15. It's a buzzword now, where people have, on the average, put on 15 pounds through this quarantine period. And nobody is exempt except to do things not to put on weight. And why shouldn't you put on weight? Some people say, but come on, putting on weight means you're doing well, but that's bad news. Obesity and overweight is bad news for COVID-19. And I'll tell you why it is bad news, and then I will talk about what we must do not to get into that quagmire of putting on excessive weight. Studies now have shown, one was updated as recently as the 13th of this month, that says that people who died, and this is a study from the USA, you know how USA has passed the 100,000 death mark. People who died in the USA, less than 1% of them who died are those who had no underlying conditions. And so the vast majority of people are the people who had obesity, who had diabetes, who had hypertension, who had heart conditions, or who had cancer and are being treated with immunosuppressive medications. So we shouldn't even go there. We should avoid it. And those of us who are lucky at this point not to have any of the underlying conditions must work hard vitally to stay that way. How do we do that? By eating nutritious meals. What do I mean by nutritious meals? To be honest, it may sound very strange, but eating mostly plants. Your meals should be whole, meaning that they shouldn't be over-processed, they shouldn't be processed at all if possible. They should be eaten as fresh as they come from the farm. to the kitchen and into your tummy as fresh as it comes. You can boil, avoid frying, so eat food that is whole. Eat mostly plants, avoid meat and chicken and animal. Anything animal, avoid it. If possible, avoid completely. If not, just take a little. So that's whole food, plant, predominant plant business. Don't overeat anyway, or whatever you do. But you can eat as much vegetables as you want. That's not a problem at all. What about sleeping? WHO recommend at this point to have 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep at night. Not during the day, because daytime sleep doesn't work good for nighttime. If you sleep through the day, you may stay awake through the night. It is a nighttime sleep that is very important. So 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep. If you're not getting that, please speak to a medical practitioner to help you. What about stress? Manage your stress, because stress can depress your immunity. And again, I go back to the fact that at this point, there is no known cure, no vaccination. So all we have to fight this is our state of immunity at this point. So everyone should do all they can to boost their immunity with lifestyle changes, eating nutritiously, whole food, plant-based, sleeping properly 7 to 8, 9 hours at night, having physical activity, which can be something like dancing for 30 minutes every day.
Yes.
Dancing. Absolutely.
Okay, talking about dancing, we actually have a video, dancing as exercise, and I think it will interest you to watch. So the two of us will watch on this one, dancing as exercise.
Dancing is a rhythmic movement of the body. It can be fast or slow. Dancing can also be done at a moderate pace. Dancing can be done at any time of the day. What is required is a beat, a rhythm, some instrumentals or voice sounds which passes as music. In Nigeria, for example, our culture promotes dance. Research also shows that non-humans can also enjoy rhythm, beats, instruments, or just be happy enough to move their bodies. For example, let's talk about plants. People say plants dance to the breeze, and dogs wag their tail when they are happy and excited to see their owner or people they are familiar with. Some people dance because they are happy. Some dance for exercise. In some cases, during competitions, people dance to win accolades, awards, and prizes. What about events? We attend weddings, birthday parties, and other ceremonies. When we attend and we are happy and we listen to the rhythm and the beat and the music, we tend to dance. A lot of dancing goes on during these ceremonies. Consistent dancing for exercise can be a refreshing and rejuvenating exercise. Weight can also be shed, as experience and research has proven. That way, you have fun, you break some sweat, and you look good. Need I say more?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wow, quite interesting. Who does it better than my producer Thelma Obazi when it comes to wellness? We're still having a chat with Dr. Ifeoma Moyi. I want to ask you this question. Do you dance?
I dance a lot. And I'll invite you when next I have my program called Dance with the Dog.
Oh, okay. So how does dancing help?
Excellent. First of all, when you dance, you're happy, aren't you? And you know, Africans are blessed with, what do I call it, a body to dance. You just need to knock two things together, and when African is there, and then the rhythm is there, and they will begin to dance. Dancing, you can move all parts of your body when you dance. When you dance, your body releases some kind of substances that actually make you happy. And a lot of times you dance with friends, don't you? So that's social connectedness that takes place when you're dancing with people because you're connecting with loved ones. So dancing is absolutely critical. So people who say, I don't like exercising, I don't like running, I don't like jogging, I don't want to do any of that, I don't like the gym. Dance, just dance and dance away.
When you stay at home, you tend to, I see ladies washing hands. One of the preventive measures of staying away from COVID-19 is by washing your hands. But sometimes you see ladies with fingernails washing their hands, long fingernails, and they tend to neglect the underneath of the fingernails. How effective is their washing of hands?
To be honest, this is not the time to fix your nails. That is the truth. This is not the time. Why? Because, underneath the nails, you don't know what is there, and you just can't reach it. So this is not going to be very good news for women who love long nails and they like to fix their nails. But please, for your own good and for the good of those who live with you and those who you take care of, your loved ones, when that set of nails gets bad, just take it out and take a break from that, because you just aren't going to be able to, the way WHO has prescribed washing hands under running water for at least 20 seconds, washing every part of your hands and making sure everywhere is clean, scrubbing. Okay, what about this bit that goes this way? Because there's this motion and that motion. How can you possibly use your long nails to do that? And it's not a good idea.
Yes. During this stay-at-home COVID-19 period, a lot of ladies are known to have hygiene issues. And when we talk of hygiene, sometimes back, especially this week, World Menstrual Hygiene Day was celebrated. And how should ladies keep up their hygiene level, especially this period?
I think that's a very good question. And the thing is, every woman who menstruates is actually lucky, because there are a few women who can't because of medical conditions, and then they have problems with childbearing later on. So menstruation is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's something to be looked forward to. You need to look forward to that as a young girl. But when you begin, please maintain hygiene. There are lots of menstrual problems, premenstrual problems and menstrual problems that young girls and ladies have. But maintaining hygiene means changing your sanitary towels or your tampons quite regularly, making sure you're washed. And I would say, why don't you have a bath twice a day, the morning and the evening, and making sure you're changing quite regularly. But we know that some women are very poorly during their menses. They have a lot of menstrual pain, and so they can't really keep up with what I've just said. But there are lifestyle ways that you can actually reduce menstrual pain. We know that menstrual pain is a cramping of the uterus causing that pain. There is a hormone we call prostaglandin E2, which is responsible for menstrual cramps. Sugar is the friend of prostaglandin E2. It helps to make some more. So if you do not want to have pain, stay away from Coca-Cola, Fanta, every fizzy drink, whatever the name is called, Maltina, whatever it is, sweet sugar itself in your tea or coffee, Ovaltine, anything sugary, any added sugar, please keep away from it. Because if you do, then you will make that much prostaglandin E2 and you will have that much cramping. And then you'll be much healthier to actually keep clean during your periods. Physical activity also is very important during menses. It reduces the pain that goes to the uterus. And of course, managing your stress, I will always say, and speak to somebody. Stay socially connected. Tell somebody how you're feeling. Be vulnerable and talk about it. And somebody can always help you with the practical tip that they have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ifeolumoye, for coming on Weekend Deal. Well, if you are with us on the program, we've been chatting with Dr. Ifeolumoye, who is a chief medical practitioner
family medical practitioner, and she is a pioneer of lifestyle medicine in Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming. And we just talked about menstrual hygiene. And menstrual hygiene was celebrated this week. Tochi Oputa put together this feature. Let's take a look as Dr. Noyembe Hawi out of the studio. Thank you.
Every girl should have information about menstruation for the first period.
Every young girl has a first red day in her maturity journey. For some, it's good. For some others, it's not so amazing. And this is caused by a couple of factors: guidance and information. Every young girl's menstrual cycle has a major place in her growth process, whether in her health or in her education. Menstrual hygiene management implies access to proper hygiene products to absorb or collect menstrual waste during a girl's cycle, privacy to change materials, and access to facilities to dispose used materials, and more. Menstrual hygiene can be particularly challenging for girls and women in developing countries where clean water and toilet facilities are often inadequate. If not properly managed, it can pose a barrier for young girls in education, as lack of sanitary products can affect their participation in communal activities because of the social stigma that comes with it. Over 800 million women and girls menstruate every day, and most of that number deals with varying challenges in managing it. This gives rise to the need for sanitary education to help women and girls reach their full potentials. Since its first celebration in 2014, May 28 has become an important day on the calendar of many women and girls to speak up on a skin-deep issue to celebrate Menstrual Hygiene Management Day.
I want a world where every woman and girl can enjoy their sexual and reproductive health and rights and not be limited by their periods.
It's 2020. No girl, no woman should be held back because she menstruates.
I want open conversations about menstruation.
Sanitation facilities have to be accessible to all menstruators.
All women and girls around the world should be able to afford any menstrual hygiene product of their choice.
It's time for action. It's time for action. Act now.
Menstrual Hygiene Day has grown tremendously as USAID's work in the menstrual hygiene field includes developing design standards for female-friendly facilities, creating educational resources, promoting the availability of menstrual hygiene management and related supplies, and destigmatizing menstruation. This year, Menstrual Hygiene Day identifies that periods do not stop for pandemics, and so efforts continue to drive home the idea that it's time for action. This team points to the urgency for required joint work needed to both change the adverse societal norms surrounding menstruation and also make progress towards empowering women and girls to unlock their educational and economic opportunities. This ongoing exercise will help to precisely break the silence and raise awareness to change negative social norms around menstrual hygiene management and engage decision makers to increase the political priority and catalyze action for menstrual hygiene management at global, national, and local levels. To every woman and girl out there, this is saying Happy Menstrual Hygiene Management Day.
Thank you very much, Tochi Oputa, for this report. We'll take a break now. When we come back, the show continues. Thanks for staying tuned. Well, we'll be chatting with a very interesting guest later. Do send in your messages. I believe our number will be scrolling on the screen. And we are talking behavioral changes amid COVID-19. But before that, we will take a look at this feature by Wale on the new norm.
The coronavirus pandemic has redefined everything. Economic and social interactions will no longer be the same from now. to keep safe and maintain physical and social distancing at all times imply that we cannot afford to do things the way we are used to. At least, not anymore. The government, both at the federal and state levels, have imposed lockdown and several restrictions on movement of people from state to state. While the lockdown lasted, a new way of life gradually began to evolve. The use of face masks has been advised by medical practitioners and relevant health authorities. Beyond the health benefits, the fashion industry is beginning to impact on what our face mask should look like. Now they come in various shapes, colors, and designs. Weeks, the federal and some state governments have begun to gradually ease the lockdown. Some government offices, private businesses, and essential services have been permitted to open cautiously for business. The real worry is how to effectively achieve safety measures in workplaces, schools, markets, churches, mosques, and other public places without a significant risk of viral infection among the people. The new normal is the slogan for the post-COVID-19 era. No more handshakes, no more hug, at least for now. The dilemma of achieving physical and social distancing in workplaces, schools, markets, religious gatherings, and other social events has been the crux of the matter. For schools, the big questions are, what will seating arrangement look like in the school buses? What will happen to the morning assemblies? What will classrooms look like? How do we achieve social and physical distancing during break time without the risk of infection among the pupils? These and more are the real conversations that we must begin to have across sectors to determine our adaptation to the new normal.
All event centers, churches, and mosques will compulsorily be disinfected before every use. Every event center will provide enough electronic hand wash basins and electronic hand sanitizing equipment for the guests. Every event center will need to partner with credible and reliable security companies, popularly known as bouncers, who will act as COVID-19 enforcement officers. The bouncers will now multitask as they will be responsible also for enforcing the wearing of nose masks and checking of the temperature of each guest. Events with over 300 guests in attendance will only be allowed to take place if there is a COVID-19 compliance ambulance service stationed at the event center. We will no longer have 10 guests on a table. We will now have a maximum of 5 guests on a table. Each guest table will now be 6 feet apart from each other. Number 10, disposable plates, spoons, and cups will be the new normal for all event types for now. No more spraying of physical cash, as all cash gifts will be enveloped by guests before or during the event, as ushers will make available cash gifts envelopes. Social distancing will also be maintained during photography. All event centers, churches, and mosques will be disinfected after every event.
Wow, quite interesting. What a lifestyle change. As I told you earlier before we took this feature, we will be having a guest. And yes, he is seated here with me in the studio, and he is Sam Ikoku. I hope I pronounced the name well. Welcome on Weekend Do. He is a productivity consultant. But then, I'm sure our audience would want to know what it entails to be a productivity consultant, as they will be sending in their messages. A number will be displayed on the screen, and it's already there on the screen. You can send in your messages as we chat. So, what does it entail?
Well, first of all, I have to thank you all for having me on your program. It's a delight and an honor to be here. A productivity consultant simply takes what you're doing, comes in with a very objective overview, helps you identify areas where you could do better. The objective is to 2x, 5x, 10x your performance, your profit, your interactions with your customers, whatever it is that you're trying to solve. We sort of come in there, look at it, and show you ways to do things differently. Yes.
That's quite interesting. Now, COVID-19 is here, and a lot of businesses have either dimmed or stopped blooming entirely. Can you tell us details step by step as to how an entrepreneur will hold on to this COVID-19?
Well, that's a big question. The critical thing here is there's a pattern interrupt across the entire society, all over the world. Business as usual doesn't exist anymore. The way you interact with your customers doesn't exist. The way you deliver your services do not exist. Certain things you used to offer no longer need to be done. Certain things you offer will no longer be taken by your customers. Before now, things like pricing and branding were important, but now things like safety and hygiene are more important. So your brand message has to change. The way you interact has to change. The sum total effect is anyone who thinks that things will go back to normal doesn't really understand the implications of COVID-19. So the truth is we have to start thinking about better ways, different ways, altered ways, hybrid ways to offer our services, to redefine our customers, to redefine what we represent in the marketplace, to rejig our corporate culture, to recalibrate our internal alignments. It's a whole new change, and everybody has to pay attention to that now, because things will never go back to the way they used to be.
You said things will never go back to the way they used to be. What's your projection? What do you think will happen post-COVID-19, especially in the business world?
Well, the first thing is everything that can go digital or go online has to go online. Everything. Yes, there's been e-commerce, but a lot more has to be done. For example, education, medicine, delivery of services has to go online. And then what is left is what we need to focus on and see how to make it a whole lot better for people. But everything, that's the key thing people have to understand. Everything that can go online, everything that can be delivered online must go online. And the race now is how to do it conveniently without losing your customers.
When we talk of surviving this post-COVID-19, how can business owners take advantage of this period that we are in already?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because you're not talking about surviving, you're talking about taking advantage.
Yes.
And that's a very important question to ask. The critical thing here is, what I've noticed is most people don't even know what they think they should be doing. The first thing they're trying to do is to lay off staff and try and cope with the hygiene needs of meeting with their customers. But the truth of the matter is, all of us knew that things would change. Take education, for example. We all knew that education had to go online at some point. We saw the invasion of foreign schools into Nigeria through the online offering of courses. But our schools waited a little bit too much because they were in their comfort zone. So what has happened with COVID-19 now is everybody has had to have an accelerated move into the digital format. Schools are doing Google Meet, they're doing Zoom, and all of that. It's all hodgepodge because it's being done pretty quickly in an accelerated program. But I think over time people will look for a more robust learning management system software to be able to deliver education in a more interactive way. What they can ensure attendance, they can ensure participation, they can ensure you track each child, you can do computer-based testing, and so on. There's a whole new world that was coming anyway, but it's here. Same thing's going to happen with food delivery. The same thing's going to happen with, fashion design, and you see everything's being affected, weddings and so on. Naming ceremonies are being done on Zoom, and so on and so forth. There's an advantage there for the entrepreneur because your costs drop by literally 80%. Your cost drops because now you're delivering digitally, and your market expands. So your costs are down, and there's no geographical limit on your market. I mean, if it's food, for example, you can't supply food to somebody in Accra or someone in Kenya. It has to be someone in your locality. But if it's education, if it's human capital development, if it's medicine, and any of those things, now the entire world is your market. I predict that COVID-19 is going to create at least another 10,000 billionaires on the African continent.
Wow.
Yeah, because the guy who had no opportunity before, the guy who couldn't afford rent, the guy who couldn't afford infrastructure, is suddenly an entrepreneur from his bedroom. And all the existing businesses should be scared because now even their own employees can become their competitors. So it's a time of anarchy. There's going to be great wealth that's going to come. It's a matter of how business owners and business wannabes look at it. There's great opportunity right now, yes.
Well, there is a message here that came for you, and it said, consultant, everything going online. You said everything going online will result in staff retrenchment. This will result in staff retrenchment, leading to unemployment, which would lead to more crimes. How will jobs be retained post-COVID-19 era? By Tony.
Well, that's a very interesting question as well. But I think under that question are certain assumptions that, if you have a job, you have it for life, or that anybody has guaranteed you employment for life. Those are assumptions that allow you to reach the wrong conclusions. Let me ask you, 3 months we've been literally locked in.
Yes.
How many people have learned new skills?
I have.
Good. How many people have taken the time and the data they expend on social media to learn new skills? The question now is, are you employable? Can you add value to your team, to your group, to your company?
Yes.
There is no column in our accounting sheet that says reserve money for a pandemic. So how will employers continue to pay salaries if there is no value being created? So staff have to learn to learn. They have to make themselves indispensable so that they can continue to remain employed. I mean, the person asking the question, if he was an employer, the question should go back to him. How would you maintain payroll if the people are not giving you the value that you need to grow your business? So the onus is on employees now to make themselves relevant. And then we don't need to be really afraid of all of this, because when the personal computer came, we said the printing industry would be destroyed. It hasn't happened. When the computer came, we said secretaries would be out of work. It hasn't happened. Well, the bad ones are gone. The good ones are always in demand. So the question is, are employees ready to make themselves indispensable? If not, the reality is that employers will have to cut payroll, or employers will have to reduce salaries to maintain the payroll. Something has to give.
Well, a lot of people have been sending messages, but their own interest is more about school.
Yeah.
School resumption. How is school going to? Another. This one is particular about nursing school, because they need practicals. They can't do it online. How can they cope on that?
Yeah, nursing school, I didn't ever think of that, but I'm happy that this came up. I think nursing school basically has to do with working with the human anatomy, delivering medication, monitoring patients, and so on. 80% of that can be done online. You can, like with medicine, you can study the human body. You know, there was a time you had to have human parts in formaldehyde and you had to poke them and all of that. But today you can look at the human scan completely and it's all interactive, the veins, the muscles. We have to move to that format. It's not going to be easy for schools that are not really traveled on the technology curve, but this is the opportunity for them to do that. And then the nurses themselves can wear personal protective equipment and toggle each other, you know, I mean, it's part of the learning. Everybody has to adapt, and it's across the board.
But how can people generally embrace the new norm? Because a lot of people, right now, it's like telling people to embrace the new norm is like telling an Eskimo, trying to sell an Eskimo ice.
Well, strange analogy, I'm not really agree with that. However, see, the real problem we have is we're all too much into our comfort zone. How do we really think that things will not change? If things didn't change, we'd probably still be riding horses still today, instead of driving around in cars. People have to understand that innovation and change is necessary, and they must adapt. As much as the comfort zone, like you say, is a comfort zone, I say the comfort zone is the place where people wait to die. You have to want to change. Even before it comes, you need to seek it out. And if you do that, you put yourself in a position to be a provider of solutions. So, and the society needs all of that. So, comfort zone, throw that out. Okay. Let's all adapt to the new future, and let's embrace it with joy. It's not a death sentence.
Yes,
it's actually a doorway to a new and more rewarding life. Yes.
So, what's your final word on behavioral change amid COVID-19, especially in Nigeria?
Well, if people understand that a virus is transmitted in a particular way, it falls on them to act in a different way to help neutralize that. I went out yesterday and I saw that people were not really observing social distancing. And I worry for schools because you're going to have kids who can't naturally do that. The human brain has been wired for millions of years to be social. So we want to have contact, we want to be close, we want to whisper, we want to gossip, we want to let people look into our eyes and see what we're trying to express emotionally. But the truth of the matter is we have a pandemic, we have a pattern interrupt, and everybody has to look at that and say, I can't go with my lizard brain anymore, I can't go with my native brain anymore, I need to bring a new me to the equation. And it's not going to be easy, but it has to be done. And in the process of doing that, we need to build systems. For example, architects have to start designing schools and homes and businesses differently. Interior design experts have to start doing things differently so people move and flow through factories and offices differently. Because the human brain has been around for too long and is too used to being social. But we do have a pandemic, and everybody has to wake up to the reality that it's done a new way or we're taken out of the game. Simple.
Thank you so much for coming on today's episode of Weekend Deal. We have been chatting with Sam Ikoku, who is a productivity consultant. Thank you, sir, for coming. And as behaviors, every day we wake up, we see different things, trending things, new things, and people embrace all this. So why not embrace this new change and make it your part of daily routine? It has been a fantastic time out here. I enjoyed myself, and I am sure you enjoyed yourself too. And let us embrace the new normal. Stay safe and be sane. I am Aisha Baigarikana. Bye for now.